Cleaning customers who can't pay much. Should I take the job? It's a great question. We're going to talk about it today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. There's a house cleaner that wrote into the show, and she asked this question. And I want to read it to you so that I don't miss anything, but I want to let you know you can also write into the show, and we will answer your questions. So if you are new to the show, welcome. I'm super excited that you're here. I recommend that you subscribe and also that you leave comments in the notes below because we do read and respond to all of those comments. So come be part of our ecosystem. We'll help you grow a cleaning business. All right, so this one says, hi, Angela. What about when we get a referral and they say they pretty much need our service and you can tell when you check the house that they're really tight on money? COVID-19 affected everyone and they seem like really good people. And we have an opening. What should we do? All right, I love the question because it tells me you have a really good heart and you want to help people. I love that about you, okay? Now that said, I also want to paint a picture for you and I want you to think about this very carefully. You cannot bail out another boat if your own boat is sinking. Now you did not say your own boat was sinking, but here is the illustration. Imagine you're out in the middle of a great big vast ocean and there are two boats. Both boats have holes. And if you bail out the water out of your boat, you can probably stay afloat for a little bit longer. But if you jump out of your boat and you go help someone else bail out their boat, why, your boat is going to sink all on its own. Now you might survive over here, and that's great, but your boat is going to sink. And the reason that I paint this picture is this. As a small business owner, we get into the business because we are people pleasers. We love to help people and we have a very good heart, right? That is what is attracted in the house cleaning industry. That is who we draw in, are these people that want to help and they want to give of themselves to other people. So I love that about you. Now, because I painted a picture of a sinking ship, I want you to realize this. Most business owners start a business not because they're independently wealthy, because they have nothing better to do and they would like to just start a house cleaning business. Most people, this may not be you, but most people get in the cleaning business because they have bills to pay and mouths to feed. So they are building a business to survive, okay? There is a time, and this happens in all businesses, there's a time where money is no issue. You have overcome all of the whims of trying to survive and the struggle and the hunger and all the stuff that is required when you start a business and the energy and the drive and the momentum and all that stuff. There's a time where you're like sitting back and you're like, oh yeah, easy peasy. My business is running itself. Yay. When you get to easy peasy street, that's when you start doing all of your charitable work. Okay. That is when you say, we have the resources, we have the time, we have the staff, and you use it as a PR move, and you can also use it to build morale in your company. Our company gives back in this way, right? In the beginning, when you're starting a business, that is not the time to be doing charitable work. I need you to stay in your own boat and bail out your own water, okay? Right now, you have bills to pay, you have mouths to feed, and COVID-19 hit everybody pretty hard, okay? So even though you go into a house and you see somebody that looks like they're tight on money, you said this was a referral. You're not obligated to take on any jobs that are a referral. You can just say, I'm sorry, we can't do that right now. And just because you have an opening in your schedule doesn't mean you should fill it with a charitable job. For this reason, when you say yes to that job, you're saying no to a higher paying job that can also pay your bills. And so my focus for you is to get the higher paying job that's going to put food on your table, that's going to pay your family and your bills, and it's going to keep water out of your boat so you can stay afloat. Once your boat is afloat and you have patched all the holes and everything is up and running and you're going smooth, then you can jump over to the neighbor and you can help them bail out the water in their boat. But if you ignore your boat first, your boat will sink, okay? So I need you to be very keen on this. Every business has a time that is proper for charitable work and for giving somebody a special deal or whatever when you can sense that it is needed. But just because you go into a situation and sense that it's needed, even in the first year or 2 or 3 of your business, that might not be the right time for you. There's no shame in walking away from a job that is not a good fit for you while you are building your business, okay? There's a time and a season for everything. Now, I understand what you're talking about. I've gone into homes and I want to help. I want to help. I really do. But oftentimes what happens is this. People are in situations for a reason. And when they really need the help, that's going to force them to also be resourceful on their own. It's going to force them to come up with new and innovative ways to solve their own problems. And so just because we have a solution and we can help doesn't mean we should. And some of the hardest lessons I personally have ever had to learn is to take a step back when I want to lean in. I want to solve somebody's problem because I have the answer. But if I take away the answer from them, listen to this very carefully. If I take away the answer from them, I take away the lesson that life provided them. And if I take a step back, it forces them to learn their own lesson. Especially, this is true with family members. You jump in and you solve a problem, but what happens then is they lean on you to solve the next problem and the next problem and the next problem. And you have enabled them not to solve their own problems. And so as much as you want to help someone out, sometimes the best help that you can give them is by stepping back and letting them find their own resourcefulness and their own creativity and their own solutions to their own problems. Now, I understand you want to help this particular family. This is about house cleaning. And so if they really need your help, they can either clean their own house, or they can become resourceful and they can do a barter deal with someone, or they can find a situation that is appropriate for their situation without leaning on you when you need to have a higher paying job that can pay your team and your family, and it can also help you out of the COVID situation. And so I just want to paint this as a picture so that you are aware. When you are aware, you have choices. But I want you to be very careful about jumping in because it was a referral. You don't owe anybody any jobs, okay? The person that gave you the referral, you don't owe them anything. You just say, oh, thank you so much for the referral. I appreciate it. The day will come when I will be able to help your friend out. I don't have it to give right now. No shame in that, okay? No shame in that whatsoever. You don't owe them to take on their friend. And you don't owe the friend any deals or discounts because they're not even a client of yours yet. And just because you sensed that they had money problems doesn't mean that you should give them a deal or a discount. There are people I know that have money problems, and yet they wear $400 Nike shoes, and they have $800 cell phones and things like that. People buy what they want to buy. They might still be tight on cash, but they buy what they want to buy. And so the hardest lesson is to take a step back and to say, I'm going to stay in my own boat. I'm going to bail out my own water, and I'll catch you on the flip side, okay? So there's a time and a season for everything, and I just want you to be aware this may or may not be the right season to help this particular family. All right. Glad we got that out of the way. If you want to leave comments in the notes below, I would love to hear your feedback. If this was helpful, give us a thumbs up. We'll bring you more tips like this. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.